Chapter 71. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pirate King Roger, ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter, this is the CP9 agent, Pluto Rayleigh, naive guy, Crocodile, why do you think the Admiral will listen to them, Sachi, maybe this is the legendary idiot, Impulse City. Thief, ha ha ha, let me see, isn't this the red-nosed kid, accompanied by a burst of unpleasant laughter. On the second floor of Impel Down, the Blackbeard pirates met the Buggy pirates. Under his feet were the bodies of the jailers. Obviously he broke in from the gate. It's you. Teach. Buggy recognized the Blackbeard he had fought in his childhood at a glance. Ha ha ha, do you want to join my pirate group, little red-nosed devil? Teach laughed arrogantly. Your strength is barely acceptable, I can accept you with mercy. Crocodile, you too. Hey, isn't this my brother Ace? The moment he saw Blackbeard, Ace's body was instantly full of flames, and he rushed up with a roar, Teach. I'm going to kill you. Boom. In an instant, white flames shot out crazily, condensed into rockets, and rushed towards Teach. Really, Ace? Then let you feel my power again. Bang. A large ball of black smoke burst out from Teach's body and collided fiercely with the flames. He, this is not easy to deal with. Old Sand looked at everyone present indifferently, frowned and said, the news of the Push City has probably been passed to the Navy headquarters a long time ago. If nothing unexpected happens, the Navy Admiral will be here soon. Boom. Buggy's body shook violently when he heard the words Admiral of the Navy. The mask that felt his inner fear began to twist wildly and became unhappy. Although his strength increased greatly after obtaining the ugly king mask, Buggy's character deep in his heart did not change much. Asshole, do you know who the Admiral of the Navy is? Bullshit, I don't want to fight that kind of monster. Little ones. Follow me and run away. Buggy raised his arms and shouted. The blue fat man shouted anxiously, Ace, it's not suitable to stay here for long, we have to go. He and Ace finally escaped from the prison. Once the Admiral arrives, it will be all over. Thief, ha ha ha, go. Can you go? Little ones, go. Tiki, who was fighting with Ace, shouted strangely, rumbled. The poison giant soldiers several feet tall rose from the ground, and the judgment of hell was fully fired. Teach. Buggy. Damn you guys, none of you can escape. Magellan, who had recovered from the clown's trick, roared angrily, and his voice resounded throughout the entire Impel Downs. For a moment, a big melee began. Ah! I'm so mad, since no one can leave, then no one can have an easy life. Bage the clown, at Whitebeard, I have rescued Ace the Fire Fist, and he is in Impel Downs, and Teach is here too. Guys from the Whitebeard pirates, don't you want revenge? Damn it, seeing this message, Sengoku punched the wall in anger. Reinforce. Reinforce Impel Down immediately. Where are the 7 warlords? Where are they? Report. Doflamingo did not respond. Pirate Queen Boa Hancock is on her way to Impel Down. Gecko Mariah and Hawkeye Mihawk refuse to come. Damn it, Moby Dick. What? Ace was rescued by Buggy. In Impel Down. That guy Teach is also here. Daddy, bang. The huge Kasugawa Kurogiri slammed heavily on the deck, and Whitebeard thundered, turn, target, Impel Down, Gate of Justice, Navy warship. Assholes. These damn pirates dared to. The angry Vice Admiral Mole immediately looked to his side, do you still want to go to Impel Down? Pirate Queen, because the live broadcast room broke out that the future world government would abolish the 7 warlord system. Now that the war at the top is coming, he is worried that the former 7 warlords will not obey orders. Keep going. Hancock's face turned cold, I'll go to Impel Down. Really? Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel was overjoyed, and immediately looked at Hancock with great admiration. This is the real Shichibukai, so competent. Luffy? Did you hear that? Your brother Ace has already. But there was still no response from under the skirt, Grand Line, a certain sea area, on the sea. Ha ha ha, Ace, Luffy, you must wait for me. Huang Quan. Has this day finally come? Looking at the resurrection emblem in his hand, Roger smiled. He couldn't wait to see his son, New World, swish. Griffin was unsheathed, and Shanks stared coldly at the strongest creature in front of him, Kaido. Sorry, this road is blocked, the live broadcast is still going on. Bang! Luffy stepped on Lucci's head and it exploded. Is this CP9? Nothing special. Puffed the long sword past Kaku's waist, and at the moment when blood splashed, Kaku hit the wall heavily, dying. Califa, who was also on the verge of death, stared at Robin with unwilling eyes and cursed in the most resentful tone in the world, you can't escape. Nico Robin. The power of the world government is something you can never imagine. Devil's son Nico Robin, you are destined to kill everyone around you. You can't gain trust, you don't deserve to have companions, and waiting for you is only death. Bang! Califa was beheaded by a sword, and CP9 was completely destroyed. Robin collapsed to the ground, her eyes full of fear, helplessly looking at Luffy, her body trembling. Don't listen to this kind of nonsense anymore. Luffy didn't take it seriously at all. He walked forward, put his big hand on Robin's head, rubbed it hard, and said angrily, be honest. Don't forget what I said to you. At least trust me more. Half a year later, Sabayati Archipelago. Damn Luffy, when are you coming? Soon. Really? Yeah. Don't lie to me, you. Snap. Luffy hung up the call with Ace. Since the two were sent to the New World Navy GI branch, they harassed him every day. Is this really the design of the ancient weapon Pluto? Luffy said in surprise, looking at the tower drawing on the table beside him. It's true. Robin said seriously, do you want to keep it? That day, after killing CP9, the two found Frankie tied up in the tavern. Because Nico Robin's traces were found, and the information about Pluto's design drawings has gradually become clear, CP9 plans to take Nico Robin and Pluto's design drawings back to Judicial Island. Who knew that Luffy would intercept them halfway? Keep it for now, maybe it will be useful in the future. Although Luffy didn't care much about ancient weapons, he also knew that such things must not fall into the hands of the world government. Buy supplies and go to the New World. Okay, but you have to go with me. I told you to trust me more. In the end, Luffy went with them. When the two came back, they already had a big fat pig with a glass cover in their hands. Chapter 72. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this the world's noble celestial dragon? In the cabin, Robin looked at the family tied up like a dumpling curiously. It doesn't look like anything special. Damn, lowly pariahs, inferior creatures, dare to catch, woo-woo. They will bleed and die just the same. Luffy said indifferently. It's not like he hasn't killed celestial dragons before, so there's nothing strange about it. But why do they carry such a glass cover? Robin picked up the cover and observed curiously. Humph. It is said that they don't want to breathe the same air as the people. Really? Robin felt that things were not that simple, except that the material is a little better. It seems to be no different from an ordinary glass cover. It looks like a diving device. 3 months later, a new world. Is this the new world? Robin widened his eyes curiously, looking at the endless sea in front of him. We will arrive at G1 branch soon, you. Luffy was about to ask Robin to disguise himself, but the den mushi in his arms suddenly rang. It's Ace again. Luffy is in trouble. As soon as the call was connected, Ace's anxious voice came from the other end. What happened? Zephyr teacher and his team are surrounded by pirates. Luffy's face changed when he heard it. Four Emperors? No, it's other pirates who can't be named. What are you afraid of? With Zephyr's strength, who can beat him as long as he is not a Four Emperor? It's that guy, the guy who cut off Zephyr's right hand 7 years ago. He was encountered by the pirate guerrillas formed by Zephyr, Nami, and Zoro. Snap. Luffy hung up the phone with a sullen face, and his anger kept rising in his heart. Nami, Zoro, Zephyr-sensei, at the same time, in the new world, a certain sea area. Huh? Who are you? Why are you staring at Weevil like that? Mom, do you know him? With a bloated figure, ugly appearance, and a crescent-shaped white thin beard, Edward Weevil, holding a big knife, looked at Zephyr, who was full of anger on the opposite side, and turned his head to ask his mother. Oh, isn't this the former Admiral Zephyr Blackarm whose right hand was cut off by my son? The short woman baking him Stussy standing next to Weevil sneered, he's not dead yet. It's you. The angry Zephyr shouted coldly, the remnant of the Rock's pirates, is he your son? Oh, he of course. Stussy patted Weevil's thigh, he is the fruit of the love between me and that guy Newgate. Puff Nami on the warship couldn't help laughing out loud. The other members of the pirate guerrillas couldn't help laughing. Although they were pirates, who didn't know the name of Whitebeard? How could you be so short? Mom, is Newgate your father? Weevil asked with a big snot. Humph. Would Mom lie to you? You and Newgate are just cut from the same cloth. Ma. But didn't you say my father was Whitebeard? Newgate is Whitebeard, your father. Really? Dad also has a beard like mine. Oh, of course. Live broadcast room, Pirate King Roger, at Whitebeard, congratulations, Kaido, he as expected of Whitebeard, even a woman like Stussy. Big Mom, I've always felt that something was wrong with them, Pluto Rayleigh, I have to say, you two look alike, Sachi, this may be the worst time Whitebeard has been criticized, Whitebeard, bullshit. At Stussy, get out of here, Moby Dick, seeing their father's face as black as coal, the Whitebeards avoided him and did not dare to disturb him. Stussy, this bitch. It's just nonsense, Whitebeard's mouth twitched wildly, the live broadcast is still going on. You are looking for death. Hearing the laughter of the crowd, Stussy was furious and pointed at the Navy, Weevil, kill them for me. I know, Mom. Bang! The moment the words fell, Weevil rushed onto the warship like a cannonball, wielding his long sword and killing anyone he saw. Asshole! Do you know how long I've been waiting for this moment? Uncontrollable anger ignited in Zephy's chest, and the scenes of the past reappeared before his eyes. His students and right hand were all destroyed by this fat pig-like man. I want you to die. Waving the huge mechanical arm, Zephyr pushed forward fiercely. With a bang, the blade collided with the steel, and bursts of air burst out. Crusher. The mechanical arm flashed red, and a terrifying shock wave burst out in an instant, shaking the blade and hitting Weevil's chest directly. Three-sword style demon slash. Zoro appeared behind Weevil in an instant, and the black and purple sword energy slashed straight down. Puff blood splattered, Weevil, who was attacked from both sides, shook his body, and his red face kept swelling up, and his body began to gradually grow. Asshole! You dare to hit Weevil! A backhand knife covered with armed color slashed Zoro heavily and flew away. Zephyr would not miss this opportunity. He quickly moved forward and fired the pistol with seastone bullets one by one, hitting Weevil's back one by one. Unfortunately, Weevil was not a special ability user. The seastone bullets could not cause any substantial damage to him. Instead, he completely angered the other party. The knife flashed, turned into a phantom and slashed at Zephyr's mechanical arm frantically, one knife after another, with extremely heavy power. Gradually, the elderly Zephyr began to be unable to support it. Oh, he kill them all, Weevil. You are the blood of Whitebeard, you are the strongest. Stussy laughed wildly. Really, Mother-Father will be very happy to see me, right? Of course. Have you said enough? At some point, Nami appeared behind Stussy with the moon step and slashed down with a sword. Bang! But Stussy grabbed her throat with one hand and sneered, "Oh, hee it seems that I am really underestimated." At the same time, Stussy shouted to Zifa, "Poor black-armed Zifa, do you know what the people from the world government found me and Weevil a few days ago and said?" "Humph." Zifa snorted coldly when he heard this, without responding to the other party at all. "What a big joke." Stussy pouted and sneered, "Oh, hee it's the man in front of you, Weevil, who killed your students and cut off your right hand, will soon become the 7 warlords of the sea named by the world government." Bang! Finally, Zifa was stunned for a moment, and was slashed in the chest by Weevil, flying backwards and hitting the railing. 7 warlords of the sea. Spewing blood, Zifa's entire chest collapsed and widened his eyes in disbelief, muttering, "How is this possible?" Chapter 73. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Live broadcast room. Sachi, is this fake so strong? He can beat Black Arm Zephyr like this? Pirate King Roger, humph. It's just that woman Stussy's doing. She deliberately spread such news to interfere with Zephyr. Pluto Rayleigh, hey, I'm old. Katakuri, humph. The pirate who killed his students and cut off his right hand is now a 7 warlords. It's a strong will that Zephyr didn't die of anger. Marshal Sengoku, asshole. Navy headquarters. How can this be? Vice Admiral Tautu was the first to explode, and directly greeted the 5 elders across the air, stupid, ignorant, despicable, and shameless. A group of senior naval generals were silent, with strange colors flashing in their eyes. Most of them were actually Zephyr's students and had received his teachings. Now seeing that teacher Zephyr was treated so unfairly, they couldn't help but feel angry and sad. Idiots. They are just a bunch of idiots. Is there anyone who does things this way? Zhangguo was so angry that his body was shaking. He pointed in the direction of Mary Joa and uttered foul words. He could understand the parallel world government's desire to replenish the 7 warlord strength because of the death of Crocodile and Mingo, but you should never, ever look for that Weevil. You know that he is the culprit who killed the new Marines and cut off Zephyr's right hand. This is to force Zephyr to death. Come here, call Zephyr here immediately. Forget it, I'll go there myself. Zhangguo couldn't believe how angry and heartbroken Zephyr would be at this moment. People who lose their minds often do unpredictable things. He must stop the other party from making irreparable mistakes. Garp, Xiaohe, you two come too. After the 3 left. Humph. Vice Admiral Ghost Spider was full of sarcasm. Vice Admiral Huashishin had a cold face, with anger flashing in his eyes. The Navy soldiers on the square were completely furious, shouting that the world government was a bunch of idiots. The live broadcast is still going on. Godfall. The terrifying Overlord color surrounds the sword body, and Luffy, who arrived late, cuts Weevil out with a sword from a distance. Asshole. Weevil is really angry. Weevil jumped out of the sea and just landed on the deck. When he roared angrily, Luffy had already appeared behind him. Whale fall. Goo. For a moment, the whale kept calling, and the sword energy overflowed. Weevil's back was directly shattered by the sword arc, shattering his bones. Ichito Ryu Iai Black Sword Death Lion Song Song. The dark-armed color covers the sword body, and Zoro's figure becomes longer and longer, until it is almost a line, and passes by Weevil's waist. Swish, blood splashes on Weevil's waist, and a painful expression appears on his face. Well done, Zoro. Destruction. Luffy flew high into the air, holding the sword in both hands. The air around him was turbulent, and an uneasy noise burst out, and he slashed the sword on Weevil's head. Crack. The long sword broke, and a bright red bloodline went straight down from Weevil's eyebrows to his legs. Damn it. Weevil. Stussy shouted angrily, and just as he was about to use Nami as a threat, his hand was held tightly by a big hand. Old woman, what's the point of bullying a little girl? Sabo, who appeared at some point, looked at Stussy with a smile. Bang! Ace punched the other person in the back and knocked him directly into the sea. Run away. Forget it, save Zephyr first. A moment. Navy G1 branch. In the silent room, Zifa lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling with lifeless eyes, and did not speak for a long time. Pain, sorrow, sadness, helplessness, many emotions filled the room. "I'm leaving the Navy," Zifa suddenly said in a deep voice. "Humph. The world government has done such a shameless thing. You might as well not stay in the Navy," Ace said angrily. Sabo frowned. "Teacher, do you want to retire from the world?" No. Zifa shook his head. "I have been protecting justice all my life. Even if I leave the Navy now, I will still uphold justice and eliminate pirates." But with just your strength alone?" Ace seemed to have realized something, and said excitedly, "Why don't I quit the Navy too?" Shut up. Zifa suddenly scolded Ace sternly. "I'm leaving the Navy because I have no way to retreat and I have no choice. You are still so young, do you want to escape from all this like me?" Zafar actually knows very well in his heart, even if he leaves the Navy and builds his own power, he really can't make much waves under the powerful force of the world government. If he could be younger, if he was young, he would never make the decision to quit the Navy. He would kill Weeble as soon as possible, and then forcefully establish his own deployment, completely change the Navy, and reform it fundamentally. And the world government is the root of evil. Once he is strong enough, he will not hesitate to pull out this source of evil that is poisoning the world. Unfortunately, he is really old, and he has the will but not the power to make any changes. But Ace is different, he is still young, and he can never escape like him. But Ace wanted to say something else. No need to say more. Zifa waved his hand coldly. Since you think it's wrong, then change it with your own strength. If the Navy is incompetent, then change the Navy. If the world government is absurd, then overthrow the world government. Evasion will never solve the problem. Don't forget that the Navy always stands on justice. Don't let those soldiers with justice in their hearts become sharp blades in the hands of evil and turn their weapons against their own people." Snap! A stack of papers was taken out of Luffy's arms and placed in front of Zifa. "This is..." Zifa picked up the paper and looked at the many patterns drawn on it, his pupils widened unconsciously. "Ancient weapon Pluto design." Luffy said in a deep voice, "This is the first thing I want Zifa to do after he quits the Navy." "What? Ancient weapons?" In an instant, everyone in the room exclaimed. "Yes. Mr. Zifa can go to Water City to find a man named Frankie. With his help, I think this should not be too difficult." "But you..." Zifa looked at Luffy in disbelief. "Where did you get the design?" "From CP9. Damn it, these guys actually..." Zifa was furious. He couldn't imagine what the whole world would be like if the government really got the ancient weapon Pluto. "Okay. I agree to this." Retracting his anger, Zifa looked at Luffy with relief. "I really didn't misjudge you." From the moment the Pluto design appeared, Zifa understood what Luffy was going to do. The Navy will always be a navy of justice and will never become a weapon of a certain force. This will never change, but now, above justice, there is a pair of black hands that control justice. And what Luffy has to do is to ruthlessly cut off these evil hands and make justice spread all over the world. "Ha ha ha, I'll help Zephyr too," Ace said excitedly. "Stupid Ace," Sabo said unhappily, "just leave this matter to Zephyr alone. The fewer people who know, the safer it is. There is only one thing we need to do, and that is to become stronger." "Oh, I understand, this is called internal and external cooperation, right?" Ace suddenly realized. Everyone was speechless. Although this is the truth, it seems that this kind of statement is not appropriate, making us seem like some hostile agents who have infiltrated the Navy. "But..." Nami hesitated and said, "If you want to build the ancient weapon Pluto, it should cost a lot of money, right?" "Don't worry." Luffy chuckled, "Leave the money to me. As early as when he got the design drawings, Luffy had already thought of a good idea. Chapter 74. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Live broadcast room, Pirate King Roger. Hahaha, are ancient weapons finally going to appear in the world? Big Mom, Momomo, let's destroy Onigashima with one shot first. Red-haired Shanks, but with so much money, where can little Luffy find it? Pluto Rayleigh, I remember there seems to be a lot of gold in Sky Island. Sand Crocodile, hee gold is not only in Sky Island. Mogami Moria, kai hee don't forget that there is a lot of gold somewhere in the New World. Navy headquarters. I agree that Zephyr should leave the Navy. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Sengoku made a shocking statement. What? Sengoku, you old thing, are you confused? Garp said angrily. Vice Admiral Tsuru remained calm. Warring States, do you want to? That's right. Facing the gazes of the three people, Warring States said in a deep voice, Parallel Luffy has reminded me that the Navy really needs to protect itself. Zephyr leaves the Navy and establishes a new Navy, which will be secretly supported by our Navy headquarters. By the way, the blind swordsman smiled. Zephyr, you can try to invite him, I think the chance is great. Boom. The three people in the room were shocked by Warring States' words. This is already completely open to go against the world government. But if the world government finds out about this? Vice Admiral Tsuru hesitated. There's nothing to be afraid of. Warring States said firmly, the Void Throne now has a master, and everyone must know what the world government is going to do next. We are the Navy of Justice, and we must not help the tyrants. Okay. I agree. Zephyr, who had planned to do this, was even more excited after hearing this, and immediately made the decision. But since you rejected the order of the five elders last time, Sengoku, the finances have shrunk greatly, and now we have to support the new navy. Vice Admiral Tsuru's meaning is very clear, there is no money. Humph. Sengoku sneered, since Parallel Luffy can go to find money, why can't my navy? When the war on the top is over, Garp and Akiji will go to the New World Golden City. 3 people. Is this robbery? This is robbery. How can it be called robbery when the righteous navy eliminates pirates? The world government can't stop me, the live broadcast is still going on. Half a year later, the New World, the Golden City. The city lord, Guild Tesoro, is a user of the superhuman gold fruit, known as the Golden Emperor. He owns 20% of the world's Baileys, and is well connected to both the black and white worlds. He uses the power of money to freely manipulate the celestial dragons, and can even mobilize the power of the world government. In the underground world, he is the Golden Emperor who uses money to dominate the dark world, and his influence is spread all over the world. Finally, we're here. Is this the Golden City? Wow, so much gold. Standing on the floor paved with gold, Luffy stretched his back and looked at the magnificent and brightly lit city in front of him, and he couldn't help but feel happy. He's going to kill the pirates. He's going to get the gold. Inside the city, the casino. Asshole, why is it the big one? Are you guys cheating? Humph. How dare you question me? Come on, pull him out. Open. 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 I won again. This guy is crazy, come on, throw it out. Open. As the dealer shouted, countless people cried out in sorrow the moment the dice came out. Damn, this kid won again. It's him again. He wins every time. He has won almost 1 billion so far. I'm so angry. This kid must be cheating. Should keep your voice down. Do you know where this is? It's just luck. Facing the unfriendly eyes of the crowd, Luffy smiled and hugged all the chips in his arms, and continued to run to the next area. At the same time, on the high platform. Report to Lord Tezulo, someone is causing trouble in the casino. Oh, who? On the golden throne, Tezulo, wearing a pink suit, looked at the people below with a deep gaze and a scornful smile on his lips. It's a strange face, but that person has won 1 billion Bailey chips within an hour. Oh, well done. Tezulo gently stroked the golden ring and waved his hand. Bring it up. Yes. You are Gilda Tezulo. Luffy, dressed in casual clothes, crossed his arms and looked at the man on the platform. Yes. Tezulo responded softly, walked down slowly, and sat cross-legged in front of Luffy. Let's bet. How about odd or even? What if I refuse? I'm afraid you can't leave this city today. Then let's bet. Luffy also learned to sit cross-legged, with a smile on his face from beginning to end. Anyway, I'm free, so I'll play with you first. Bang. 2 huge metal dice were thrown over the head by the dealer Deus, and they slammed into the dice cup. He backhanded it, and then swung the axe to smash the dice cup. 2, free, odd. Lord Tezulo won. Mr. Tanaka shouted. Hee Tesoro still laughed contemptuously. It seems that I am lucky. Really? Luffy stood up, stretched his muscles, shook his head and said, the Golden City uses such despicable means to deceive customers. Bang! The dealer Deus held a big axe and stared at Luffy unkindly. Dear guest, please watch your words, this is the Golden City. Crack, the axe broke, and the sturdy Deus flew backwards. If the secret is discovered, we have to take action. Luffy smiled and walked towards the 2 dice, smashed them with a punch, and sure enough, there was something strange inside. Asshole, do you know where this is? Mr. Tanaka rushed forward with a roar. But Luffy grabbed his throat. As the user of the piercing fruit, he couldn't use any of his abilities at this moment. Is this the way the Golden City treats guests? I'm afraid it's a bit unreasonable. Puff, blood burst out, and Mr. Tanaka was crushed alive. In an instant, the entire casino was silent, and everyone looked at Tesoro in horror. As for Luffy, he had already been a dead man in the eyes of these people for doing such a thing. Tesoro stood up with his hands clapping, his contemptuous eyes disappeared, replaced by a kind of almost crazy murderous intent. Grinning, you dare to come to my Golden City to cause trouble, not bad, you have the courage, tell me your name. Monkey D. Luffy. Chapter 75. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Godfall. The sword energy filled with domineering color instantly tore through the gold in front of him, and in a breath, he arrived in front of Tesoro. It turned out to be the Navy kid who killed Doflamingo. Tesoro laughed and summoned the sky full of gold again to resist the sword energy. Bang bang bang. A series of explosions sounded one after another. Tesoro, who was retreating step by the sword, roared, and rumbled, and a golden giant rose from the ground. Golden divine fire. Swish in an instant, 2 terrifying laser beams burst out from Tesoro's eyes, pointing directly at Luffy. Whale fall. The sword energy was noisy, and the long sword in his hand and the laser beam intertwined together, and shining sparks exploded throughout the city. Underground Emperor Tesoro, today is your death day. The terrifying domineering color completely climbed to the peak. At this moment, the world changed color. Luffy raised his hands high, thunder fell straight down, and shouted, Nirvana. You are dreaming. Golden divine punishment. Boom. A sword was slashed, and the golden giant fell down and collapsed. Any last words? Holding the sword, Luffy looked down at Tesoro on the ground. Tesoro laughed loudly when he heard it, laughing arrogantly and violently, but, gradually, his expression became lonely, his soulless eyes looked at the blue sky, as if he saw something, and a smile rose at the corner of his mouth. Too boring. Brew. It's ready, send someone to pick me up. Driving the Golden City, Luffy gradually disappeared on the sea. Live broadcast room, Guild Tesoro, I'm going to die just like that. So easy, Sand Crocodile, you're a loser, you can't even beat Straw Hat Boy, Whitebeard, Gulala where are you, Ace, Marco, we're almost at Impel Down, Blackbeard teach, ha ha ha, it's so lively, so lively. New World, the azure dragon hovering in the air looked down at the red hair pirates on the sea and laughed sarcastically. Ugh, red hair, are you sure you want to stop me? Ting. The sword was unsheathed, and red hair stood on the deck, his eyes as cold as ice, and said lightly, return to Wano country immediately, Kaido. Otherwise, I will stop you here at all costs. Kaido was disdainful when he heard this. Just you? Yes. Just me. Boom. Two completely different domineering colors intertwined and collided in an instant, and the terrifying pressure that erupted even tore the clouds apart. The war was about to break out. Quick battle, Kaido. Red Hair raised his famous sword Griffin, and the giant sword energy slashed down in an instant. He was also preparing to end the battle quickly and go to impel down to see Captain Roger. Why do you want to meddle in everything, Red Hair? A hot breath spurted out from Kaido's mouth. If you don't go to find your father, the celestial dragon, why do you care about me? Looking for death. Impulse down. Fire fist. With a loud bang, a torrent of white anger burst out from Ace's arm and shot straight at Teach. Ha ha ha, you are no match for me, Ace. It will be the same no matter how many times you come. Puff. A large ball of black smoke burst out from Teach's hands, devouring the flames crazily. Seeing this, Teach's face became more and more proud. He appeared beside Ace with a charge, and immediately grabbed Ace with his right hand covered with black smoke. Do you think I will make the same mistake again? Puff. Ace's body turned into flames and surrounded Teach. Doppelganger? Teach was stunned for a moment. Humph. Just don't let your hand touch my body. At some point, Ace, who had dodged Teach's attack with the help of his flame clone, gathered two balls of red flames in his hands and stood behind Teach. Divine fire, unknown fire. Puff. Two flame spears that were almost condensed into entities were fiercely inserted into Teach's back. Ah! Teach screamed in pain, his face showed a fierce look, and he suddenly jumped up and punched Ace in the lower abdomen. Firefly, Fire Daruma. At the moment of being hit by the opponent, Ace's hands shone with green fluorescence, and the flames gathered around Dotika's body and then exploded, bang. The two flew backwards at the same time, spitting blood. Baki. I will never let you escape again this time. Poison Dragon. Magellan, who transformed into a giant poison soldier, took a big step forward and came in front of Buggy in an instant. 9 poison dragons burst out from behind him and hit Buggy. Shattered, stripped. As the poison dragon was approaching at that moment, Buggy stretched out his hand and instantly split the poisonous dragon, but roar. The number of poisonous dragons that were split in two immediately doubled, and more than a dozen huge mouths instantly bit Buggy's limbs. Swished up, the purple poison began to spread from the mouth of the poisonous dragon and attached to Buggy's body. He, is that all? Magellan. Clown tricks, change. A large ball of white smoke rose, Buggy disappeared from the spot, and a clown doll fell to the ground. At the same time, a huge white cloth appeared out of thin air in the air, growing wildly at a very fast speed, and slowly floated towards Magellan. Is it this trick again? Magellan's eyes were gloomy, and the anger that could not be concealed almost filled his body. I won't make the same mistake. Buggy. Roared. The poisonous dragon roared and bit the edge of the white cloth, and then pulled it violently, and the white cloth was torn into pieces alive. What? Buggy was shocked. Damn it, is this the power you mentioned? Damn it, what does it have to do with me being too weak? And the ugly emperor mask, that's all. For a moment, Buggy began to talk to himself, and the ugly emperor mask covering his face flashed red. Outside Impel Down, the Gate of Justice, Moby Dick. Is this the only passage to Impel Down, the Gate of Justice? Looking at the towering gate in front of them, the Whitebeard pirates were stunned for a moment, feeling tricky. Without my order, no one is allowed to open this gate. At this time, Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel of the headquarters and Pirate Queen Boa Hancock, who were riding on a Navy warship, had also arrived at the Gate of Justice. The moment he saw the Moby Dick, Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel knew something was wrong and shouted that the gate was forbidden to be opened. And the Whitebeard pirates must not be allowed to arrive at Impel Down smoothly. Gulala, you think you can stop me with just a door? Boom! Suddenly, wild laughter resounded through the sky, and Whitebeard, who soared into the air, was flashing with thunder. The Supreme Sword 12 Works Kasugawa tore through the clouds, and with an unstoppable momentum, he slashed at the Gate of Justice with one sword, crack, crack, crack. Dense white crack suddenly appeared, covering the entire gate. The next second, with a click, the Gate of Justice, which was engraved with the justice pattern of the world government, collapsed and broke into several pieces and fell into the sea. Damn it! Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel was furious and immediately issued an attack order. Bang, bang, bang. The sky full of shells all hit the Moby Dick. Phoenix Seal, Marco, who turned into an immortal bird, flapped his wings and waved, and the green flames intercepted all the shells. Ha ha ha. No one can stop Dad today. Ace. We've got him saved. Chapter 76. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Live broadcast room. Big Mom, Momomo, has the old man Whitebeard arrived at Impel Down? Where are the Navy? They haven't arrived yet, have they? Gecko Mariah, strongly request that the live broadcast room be broadcast live. Crocodile, he why is that bastard Doflamingo silent? He wasn't killed by that blind man, was he? Sage, ha ha ha. The old men have arrived, and our Whitebeard pirates will definitely be able to rescue Ace. Ding! Buggy the Clown starts live broadcast. Ha ha ha, since no one can leave, let's just make a scene. On the battlefield, Buggy's crazy laughter resounded throughout Impel Down, and behind him, 9 poisonous dragons were ferocious and terrifying, attacking him like crazy. Thief, ha ha ha, Ace, you will never be my opponent. Teach laughed wildly. Really? Ace sneered, and the flames under his feet rose like waves, blooming, flame on the gang. Fire domain, boom. The blazing sea of fire instantly engulfed Teach, and the entire underground floor was instantly enveloped by the sea of fire. Gulala, Ace, we are here to save you. The huge Moby Dick passed through the Gate of Justice and was now speeding through the doldrums, approaching Impel Down. Damn it! Let's chase. Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel gave an order, and the warship followed closely behind, in the cabin. Luffy! Luffy, wake up! Hancock looked at the unconscious Luffy anxiously, tears welling up in her eyes. Judicial Island. Ah, even the Gate of Justice has been destroyed, Impel Down is so lively. Akiji said lazily. Humph. Damn pirates, today is their death day. Yo, how terrible the Whitebeard pirates are. Navy Headquarters. Zeph. I'll leave this matter to you. Since Whitebeard is here, let's go. Yellow Spring. Ha ha ha. I'm finally going to be resurrected. Snap. Accompanied by Roger's happy laughter, the resurrection emblem in his palm shattered in an instant. Swish. Countless streams of green light like airflow fell from the sky and fell into Roger's body, life, vitality, body, flesh and blood. At this moment, all were controlled by Roger again. Ding! Please choose your resurrection location. Of course it's Impel Down. Roger laughed. Whitebeard, Sengoku, Garp, Shanks, Buggy. Ace, wait for me. Outside Impel Down, Boom. Magellan, who turned into a poisonous giant soldier, waved his hand and broke through the iron gate directly, pressing Buggy on the huge platform. Die. Desert Diamond Sword. The sand blade swept past and slashed Magellan's waist fiercely, causing his hand to suddenly stagnate. Buggy took this opportunity to flee and shot out 4 flying swords. Clown Trick Ace Flying Sword. Bang bang bang. The 4 flying poisonous dragons were instantly chopped by the sword blades. Ha ha ha, thank you, old sand, you are indeed the destined good cadre of my Buggy pirates. Humph. Run away. Old Sand really didn't want to talk nonsense with this guy anymore. He could have escaped from here early, he had to involve the Whitebeard pirates. Yo Crocodile, the former 7 warlords of the sea, Buggy, the clown trainee of Roger Pirates. A strange voice suddenly sounded in the ears of the two. You did a great job. Wow. Suddenly, the two of them flashed in front of their eyes, and the dazzling golden light was already close at hand. Have you been kicked by light? Bang. Just as Lao Sha was about to react, his body shook. The next second, he felt a golden light coming, and his head seemed to be hit by a heavy hammer and kicked away. Baki the clown. A voice full of endless anger sounded in Buggy's ears, and at the same time, there was a heat that seemed to burn everything. Akainu was flowing with terrifying magma, staring at Buggy coldly. I wonder if you can still use the means of the parallel world. Admiral of the Navy. Buggy said sharply. Hell dog. Accompanied by a terrifying explosion, several magma bombs with Akainu's face printed on them instantly exploded from Akainu's right arm. Buggy's face became horrified, and he was about to escape, but the next second, driven by the mask. Clown trick reflection. A full moon-like mirror appeared in front of Buggy, and all the hell dogs were counterattacked. A reward from the live stream. Akainu angrily said, damn pirates. Gulala lala, we're already here. Boom, the Moby Dick has completely landed. Ace. Crack, crack, crack. Whitebeard roared and punched out. Suddenly, the ground shook, the sea water poured back, and countless jailers were knocked to the ground by the distorted space. Teach, who was fighting with Ace, was directly pressed to the ground by this force, and his whole body began to deform and twist. Teach. I must kill you today. Bang. Teach was directly blasted into the ground by the pressure. Ah, what a troublesome guy, Whitebeard. Ice Age. Cold air continued to spray out of Akiji's hands, instantly freezing the sea surface outside the city, turning it into a giant ice wall to resist the power of Whitebeard's tremor fruit. Dad! Everyone! Seeing Whitebeard and the Whitebeard group, Ace shouted with red eyes, Dad is here indeed, but this time, I will never let Dad die in front of me. Flame on the top. In the flame domain, Ace's body slowly floated in the air, and the surging flames kept rising and blending with him. Emperor Flame. At that time, the blazing fireball suddenly appeared like the sun, looking down at everyone. Boom. The ice wall was swallowed by the flames, evaporated, and emitted a terrifying heat breath towards the three admirals. However, the next moment, Akiji, Kizaru, and Akainu stood in place and stretched out their hands. The fireball disappeared, shattered by the domineering impact force. Akainu, today. It's your death day. Akiji, although it's troublesome, stay. Kizaru, yo, pirates are so scary. We must not let them go. Behind the three admirals, the huge poison giant soldier Magellan shouted, and at this moment. Looks like I'm here just in time. Wow. Accompanied by laughter, a green beam of light shot from the sky and landed directly beside Whitebeard. Upon hearing this laughter, everyone present changed their expressions. People all over the world who were watching the live broadcast also felt depressed. This voice, could it be the legendary pirate King Roger? Is he really going to be resurrected? Gulala Roger, you're finally here. Whitebeard laughed non-stop. What? Roger, that bastard, is actually resurrected. In the distance, Garp's majestic figure jumped high and swooped down. Roger. This time I must beat you up. Wait a moment, Garp. In the beam of light, Roger's laughter subsided, replaced by an astonishing murderous intent. Newgate, let's talk about the past later. I have something very important to do now. Boom. The light faded, revealing Roger's frosty face. The terrifying domineering aura swept across the sky in an instant. At this moment, the sky and the earth were eclipsed. Roger's figure disappeared, passing the three admirals, Magellan, and Ace at an extremely fast speed. God avoid. The domineering aura surrounded the sword body, and the black and red sword arc pointed directly at Teach. Chapter 77. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Live broadcast room. Kaido, Roger. Big Mom, is this guy really resurrected? Pluto Rayleigh, bastard Roger, wait for me. Crocodile, he unbelievable. Moonlight Moria, is this the live broadcast room? It's really scary. New world, a certain sea area. Thunder Bagua. God avoids, boom. A sword and a hammer collided fiercely, and the whole sea was turned upside down by this force. See, Kaido, Shanks said coldly, Captain Roger has been resurrected. Even if you rush to impel down, it will be useless. The captain will not let you do whatever you want, Kaido sneered in response, the sea hasn't been so lively for a long time. I will lose a lot if I don't participate. Stupid, Shanks suddenly said angrily, once the beast's pirates also participate in the war on the top, do you know what this means? The Lord of the Void Throne who is eyeing it covetously, the navy and the pirates who ended up in a miserable defeat because of the war on the top. Without checks and balances, this sea will fall into chaos. At that time, even you, Kaido, can't escape. The world government is afraid of your power, Kaido, so it forbears, but if it stops forbearing because of this war, your Wano country will definitely be the first country to be sanctioned by the government. Really? Just because of that Lord of the Throne? Kaido pretended to be disdainful, but he had already taken Shanks' words to heart. If he didn't know, it would be fine, but now the whole world knows that on the empty throne of the world government, there is a man who wants to swallow up the world, the pirates who dominate the sea, the navy that gradually wants to get out of control, and the ambitious world government, just formed a three-way situation. Kaido is not stupid, on the contrary, he is very smart, he understands what Shanks means. Once the top combat power of the sea, the beast pirates, as the Four Emperors of the New World, also participates in this war, the entire situation after the war will definitely be unbalanced. At that time, it will be the time for the world government to show its ferocity. Humph. Do you think I will be scared by your words? Even if he has figured out everything, Kaido, who still looks uncomfortable, is still trying to be strong. Glancing at Kaido deeply, Shanks sneered, retracted his sword, and turned away. Asshole. I came here for nothing. Looking at the gradually disappearing red hair pirates, Kaido cursed and returned to Wano country, Impulse City. This is going to be troublesome. Akiji scratched his head helplessly, very confused, but Kainu said angrily, You came just in time, just catch them all in one fell swoop. Yo, how scary, Sakazuki. At this moment, even Kizaru couldn't help but sigh that Akainu was really confident, looking at the figure holding a long sword and heading straight for Teach. Ace's face was extremely complicated, and an indescribable feeling arose spontaneously, Pirate King Roger. Teach, who jumped out of the ground, opened his arms and laughed wildly, old guy from the old times. Even if he is resurrected, what does it matter? I, Blackbeard, am the real king of the sea in the future. A large ball of black smoke came out of Teach's hand, boom. As soon as the words fell, the terrifying overlord Haki pressed Teach to the ground, unable to move, the sword flashed past, and it was gone in a flash. Teach's blood gushed out all over his body, but he successfully swallowed the sword energy. Although the dark fruit has the power to devour everything, its range is not very large. Just one move of God avoidance made Teach suffer. You are the user of the dark fruit, right? A cold voice sounded above his head, and Teach immediately looked up, only to see Roger holding the sword in one hand, staring at him coldly. I didn't expect that the ability of that bastard Rox would be obtained by someone else after so many years. What a pity. Roger raised the long sword in his hand. Rox will not be like you, who only knows how to rely on others. The sword blade fell, and the terrified Teach quickly reached out to block it. Don't even think about it. Swish. The sword light ignored the black smoke, and when Teach used the armament Haki, it still slashed straight down. Teach, who lost his left hand, wailed in pain. Capture Ace, hurt Shanks. Roger said word by word, his words were as cold as ice. It seems that my Roger pirates are really underestimated. Thief. The sea is a place of natural selection, and the strong prey on the weak, so what's wrong with that? Teach stared with bloodshot eyes and said unwillingly, I wanted to stay on the ship with my father for the rest of my life, but I happened to meet this dark fruit, which this is my fate. I am destined to be the king of this sea. No one can stop me, not even the Pirate King. Ace can't beat me, that's because he is weak, the weak should die, this is the real pirate. Teach's voice became louder and louder, I am right. Yeah. You are right. Roger nodded slightly and admitted what Teach said, pirates are like this, but this can't be my reason to let you go. Asshole Roger, stop it. At this time, Whitebeard in the distance suddenly jumped in front of Roger, and blocked Ace in Roger's hand with a long sword. Humph. You are dreaming. Roger snorted coldly and slashed with his long sword. As old friends for many years, Roger naturally would not think that Whitebeard wanted to save Teach, old thing, still want to steal the head? Duong. The terrifying air wave swept the entire battlefield again. I will kill the man who injured my crew and caused my son to be arrested by the Navy. Don't even think about competing with me. Gulala what your son? Ace is obviously my Whitebeard's son. Besides, Teach, this bastard killed his companions, and he should be dealt with by my Whitebeard pirates. Roger, get out of the way. Asshole, do you want to fight? Come on. Humph. You are old, I don't want to bully you. Whitebeard paused when he heard the words, and looked at Roger's face that became younger after resurrection, and he was immediately furious. Ha 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 Roger, come and fight with me. Garp laughed and soared into the sky, with his huge fist pointed directly at Roger. Old bastard, Roger cursed as if he had a headache, and then looked at Whitebeard. In an instant, the two men drew their swords together, boom. Dense cracks were all over the feet, and the terrible roar shook the sky. Blackbeard Marshal D. Teach, dead. Chapter 78. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bang! Garp flew over with his fist raised high, colliding fiercely with Roger. Remnants of the old era, today is the time to eradicate you. Golala a kinda brat, you are so arrogant, just you. Duong. At this moment, the space shook, Whitebeard punched out, and fought with Akainu. Fire Fist. Ice Age. Ace, who had awakened his fruit, had flames rising, constantly burning the ice in Akiji's hand. Ace. I'll help you. Yo Whitebeard Pirates 1st Division Captain Phoenix Marco so scary that with a flash of golden light, Marco, who had just flown into the air, was kicked away by Kizaru who suddenly appeared. No one wants to leave today. Magellan roared, Buggy didn't care about these things. He had already achieved his goal. He quickly called out to the Buggy pirates, run, guys. No one can leave. Buzz. The bell rang loudly, and Admiral Sengoku, who had transformed into a Buddha, smashed his palm in the direction of Fire Fist Ace. Ace. Luffy, who had just woken up, turned on the third gear, and his body quickly grew larger, blocking Sengoku's fist. Straw Hat Boy. Sengoku was furious, and another shock wave came. No one can hurt Luffy. In an instant, in full view of the public, the 7 warlords of the sea, the pirate queen Boa Hancock, turned against Luffy and blocked Sengoku's attack. Pirate Queen. Sengoku was almost mad. Humph. Luffy is the one I love, no one can hurt him. Hancock waved her long hair and said arrogantly, by then, the entire Impel Down city was in chaos, until, 2 days later. Stop it. Suddenly, on the battlefield, Roger stood up and looked at the equally exhausted Sengoku. Asshole. What do you mean? I just don't want to continue fighting. Facing Sengoku's questioning, Roger said indifferently, this meaningless fight, if it continues, will only weaken its own strength and make wedding clothes for others. Roger's main goal of resurrection is to rescue his son and prevent Whitebeard's death. Now that the goal has been achieved and he has fought with Garp to his heart's content, he no longer wants to fight. Roger you. Sengoku said with wide eyes. As a pirate, Roger naturally understood the truth, but do we really have to let them go like this? Humph. Damn pirates, do you want to escape? Akainu, covered in blood, still refused to give in, unfortunately. Do you still want to fight? Then I will accompany you to the end. that with the arrival of the Red Hair pirates, the war was stopped. At this point, the Battle of Marineford came to an end. 3 days later, the world government announced the abolition of the 7 warlords of the sea system and launched a full-scale manhunt. The king of Dressrosa, Don Quixote da Flamingo, was taken back to the Holy Land of Marijoa after his life and death in the battle with the blind swordsman Xiao, former Navy Admiral Black Arm Zephyr withdrew from the Navy and established the Neo Navy. In the same month, he recruited the blind swordsman Xiao as Admiral Fujitora. The world government was furious when they heard this and ordered the Navy headquarters to immediately wipe out the Neo Navy led by Zephyr, but was forcibly delayed by Sengoku on the grounds that the casualties in the war at the top were heavy. The seriously injured Straw Hat Luffy was taken away by Red Hair Shanks after the war. In the same month, Roger Pirates, Whitebeard Pirates, and Red Hair Pirates held a week-long banquet on an island in the New World. After the banquet, Roger and Rayleigh personally taught Ace and Luffy. Half a month later, the world government announced the latest wanted order. Pirate King Gold, Roger, 6.05 billion Baileys, Whitebeard Edward Newgate, 5.58 billion Baileys, Red Hair Shanks, 4.96 billion Baileys, Straw Hat Luffy, 1.09 billion Baileys. Fire Fist Ace, 1.13 billion Baileys, Buggy the Clown, 970 million Baileys, Live Broadcast Room, Kaido of the Beasts, ugh, it's so lively. Damn Red Hair, you have to stop me. Big Mom, Momomo. Damn Roger, the bounty is higher than mine. Pirate King Roger, ha ha ha. Don't worry, Linlin, I will come to you sooner or later. Ding. Parallel World Comparison 002 Monkey D, Luffy, Navy Chapter has been played. Ding. Parallel World Comparison 001 Monkey D, Luffy, Pirate Chapter comparison begins. Pirate King Roger, huh. This time it's us Luffy of the world. Red-haired Shanks, yes. Buggy the Clown, damn Straw Hat Boy, ding. The comparison begins. In the year 1520 of the Sea Circle calendar, Luffy goes out to sea. Encountered the Alrita pirates, defeated them, and saved Kobe. In Shields Town in the East China Sea, defeated Colonel Monka, rescued the pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro, and invited him to board the ship. In Orange Town in the East China Sea, defeated Buggy the Clown, and invited Nami to board the ship. Sand Crocodile, he Buggy is so weak. Buggy the Clown, in West Rob Village in the East China Sea, defeated Hundred Caro and the Black Cat pirates, invited Usopp to board the ship, and obtained the Golden Mary. Usopp, woo-woo. My Mary. At the East China Sea restaurant, they defeated the Crick pirates, met Hawkeye, and invited Sanji to board the ship. At the East China Sea Cocoa Village, they defeated the Dragon pirates and saved Nami. At the East China Sea Rogue Town, they were chased by Colonel Smoker and were saved by the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Dragon. Kaido, wait, why would the Revolutionary Army save the Straw Hats? Sengoku, Garp, Vice Admiral Tsuru, Big Mom, Momomo. I feel there is a secret. The Straw Hat pirates left Rogue Town and entered the Grand Line, encountering Baroque Agent, Nedratari Vivi. In the Drum Kingdom, Luffy defeated King Walpo and invited Chopper to board. In Alabasta, Luffy defeated the 7 warlords of the sea, Sand Crocodile, and his bounty was raised to 100 million berries, and he invited the son of the devil, Nico Robin, to board. Mogakure Mariah, he poor crocodile, he was beaten like this by the Straw Hat Boy. Katakuri, too weak. Bage the Clown, ha ha ha. Old Sand, you are not much better than me. Sand Crocodile, shut up, all of you. On Sky Island, Luffy encountered the user of the nature-type Thunder Fruit, God Enelu, and was in a tough fight, but he finally defeated him with his strong willpower. Pirate King Roger, natural-type Thunder Fruit. It's on Sky Island where I've been. Pluto Rayleigh, it seems that it happened after we left. Water City, the Straw Hat Pirates encountered the secret organization of the world government from CP9, and defeated it on Judicial Island. The Thriller Bark, after a tough battle, the Straw Hat Pirates successfully defeated the 7 warlords of the Sea Gecko Mariah. Sand crocodile, he poor Mariah, he was beaten like this by the straw hat boy, Katakuri, stop arguing, both of you are trash, Gecko Mariah, asshole. In the Sabaody archipelago, Luffy attacked outrageously after being angered by the celestial dragon Charlo Saint, and was surrounded by the Admiral Kizaru. At the critical moment, Pluto Rayleigh appeared, and the Straw Hat pirates were beaten by Tyrant Bear one by one, thus resolving the crisis. 9 Snakes Island, Luffy accidentally fell into the palace and witnessed the Pirate Empress bathing. After bursting into the Conqueror's hockey on the ring, he captured the Empress' heart. In the Battle of Marineford, under the terrible attack of Admiral Akainu, Fire Fist Ace stepped forward, blocked Luffy, and died. After the war, Luffy and Pluto Rayleigh sneaked into the Navy headquarters and rang the Oaks bell 16 times. They agreed to meet again in 2 years, and then followed Rayleigh to practice hard on the island. Ding! The comparison of number 001 Monkey D. Luffy is complete. Kaido of the Beasts, ugh great, the comparison of the damn Straw Hat Boy is finally over. Joey Xiangtu, who's next? Big Mom, Momomo choose me in the live broadcast room. Ding! Draw for the parallel world comparison character. Ding! Draw, ding. Select the comparison character, Monkey D. Luffy. Orewa, this is the man who will become the Sea King. Chapter 79. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kaido, what? It's this Straw Hat Boy again, Big Mom, it's not fair, why is it him again, Sachi, I don't accept it. The live broadcast room is doing something behind the scenes. Why can't it be me, Sachi, Mogami Moria, he damn Straw Hat Boy, deliberately cheating in the live broadcast room. Crocodile, he what is the Sea King, an island in the New World, Ace was surprised, huh? Luffy, isn't your dream to become the Pirate King? What does Sea King mean? Sea King. Is it a Sea King? Sabo frowned and thought, everyone. What? I don't want to be a Sea King. Luffy said angrily, picking his nose. It should be an ancient weapon. At this time, Pluto Rayleigh on the side spoke. Ancient weapon. Everyone was shocked when they heard it, and then looked at Roger together. The ancient weapon Sea King, Roger was immediately confused and scratched his head, but isn't Sea King the daughter of Neptune? How did she become Luffy? Do you even need to ask this kind of thing? Buggy put his hands on his hips and laughed, the damn Straw Hat Boy wants to be the Sea King. He can just marry that mermaid princess in the future, Roger. Whitebeard. Rayleigh. Shanks. Baki, you are such a clever little ghost, Fishman Island, Dragon Palace. What? Want to marry my daughter, Neptune was furious, the damn Straw Hat Boy, don't even think about it. Come on, remember this damn face. If this person dares to come to Dragon Palace in the future, beat him out immediately. Yes, parallel world, 1510th year of the Sea Circle calendar. East China Sea, Windmill Village, Port. Hey! Shanks, you guys are back. Luffy waved and shouted after seeing the Red Hair Pirates ship from afar. Lucky Lu, ha. Luffy is waiting for us at the port again. Jesus Boo, after not seeing you for a few months, this kid has grown up a lot. Ben Beckman, hey, this time I will definitely pester him to take him out to sea again. Who makes Yuta tell Luffy some stories about sea adventures every time we come back, deliberately making Luffy envious. Shanks smiled and put his hand on the head of the little girl next to him. The little girl with long red and white hair and the latest headphones on her ears smiled brightly, waving her hands and shouting to Luffy on the shore, Luffy. I'm back. This time we have a new adventure. Yuta, you are cheating. Hearing this, Luffy was not happy and glared at Shanks angrily. I want to be a pirate with you and go on adventures together. No, Luffy. Bang. Yuta jumped off the boat and came to Luffy, with her hands on her waist and said proudly, "Luffy, you are too young to be a pirate." Then why can you, Yuta? Because. Yuta smiled and opened her arms, hugging the entire sea. "I am a musician of the Red Hair Pirates." Musician? Luffy was not convinced. "I can sing too, I want to be a musician too." But before he could open his mouth, a beautiful singing voice came from beside him. "Where does the wind blow from?" I asked the sky. It was silent. Live broadcast room, Vice Admiral Gumier. What? Miss Yuta actually knows the Straw Hat Boy. And on the damn red-haired ship. Bastu, no. This is impossible, I don't believe it, such a perfect Miss Yuta. Straw Hat Luffy, ha ha ha, it's actually Yuta, long time no see, I miss her so much. Sanji, damn. Luffy, you bastard, actually have such a cute childhood sweetheart. Being slapped by a bear to the 9 Snake Island, he ran into the Empress taking a bath, and then won the Empress' heart. Now there is such a cute childhood sweetheart again. Looking back at the transsexuals chasing him, Sanji's heart was about to break. Woo damn Luffy, why are you so lucky? I am so jealous of you. Woo. Nami, Yuta. I seem to have heard this name somewhere. Robin, I remember that Yuta seemed to be a world-famous singer. Incredible, she actually knows Luffy. Jotomo, wow. The world-famous singer, Sugoi. An island in the New World. Ha ha ha. That's great. Yuta has been singing well since she was a child. Her dream is to become a singer. Luffy danced and laughed happily. However, he didn't notice that the red-haired girl next to him looked very unhappy. The live broadcast is still going on. Hey, Luffy. Yuta blinked and smiled at Luffy. Do you want to hear our adventure story? I don't want to listen. Luffy quickly covered his ears and shook his head desperately. I won't be fooled by Yuta again. Really? Yuta smiled slyly, leaned close to Luffy's ear, and whispered, really don't want to know. This time we found a super amazing treasure, guarded by a super big squid. As he said, under Luffy's curious eyes, Yuta opened his little hands hard. Luffy's expression gradually became surprised. Squoy, it's really super big. What happened later? What happened later? Later I won't tell you. Cunning Yuta, you are playing tricks on me again. Night. No. I just want to sleep with Luffy. Yuta glared at Shanks angrily. No. I don't want to sleep with Yuta. Luffy hugged Shanks' thighs tightly and glared at Yuta. She will definitely play tricks on me. I'm going to sleep. I won't do it. Want to fight, Luffy? Come on. I'm not afraid of you. Ah. Little Luffy and little Yuta used the invincible wind and fire wheels at the same time. Duong. Duong. Shanks helplessly used the iron fist of love to stop the two. Late at night. On the small bed, Luffy curled up in the quilt with his back to Yuta, his two little hands tightly covering his ears, not wanting to listen to the adventure stories from Yuta. Hey Luffy. Yuta in the quilt gently tapped Luffy's head. Humph. You're trying to lie to me again. I don't want to talk to Yuta anymore. Hee Luffy, why are you acting like a kid? Aren't you a kid too? Live broadcast room, Bastu, what? Damn Straw Hat Boy, he slept in the same bed with Miss Yuta. Ah. You deserve to die, Straw Hat. Gummel, where's Mr. Garp? Why don't you know how to manage it? It's absurd. I'm going to kill you, Straw Hat. Sanji, damn Luffy. Woo. Nami. Zoro. Chapter 80. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Allegia. Is this your childhood playmate? Yes, Gordon. It seems that you have a very good relationship. He, of course. Yuta smiled like a flower. Luffy has never defeated me once. The wind blew slowly, brushing Yuta's long hair, revealing her pretty face that gradually stopped smiling. It had already become gloomy. The live broadcast is still going on. No, Luffy, you are wrong. Little Yuta said solemnly, I am already an adult. Humph. Why? Looking at Yuta, who is only a little taller than him, Luffy is very unhappy. Yuta is still a child, but he likes to pretend to be an adult. Because I am a pirate and pirates are all adults, only guys like Luffy who can't be pirates are children. What? Luffy was so angry that he jumped up immediately, raising his fist. Damn, you want to fight? Yuta. I don't want to. Yuta grabbed Luffy's wrist in a bad mood, pulled him into his arms, grabbed Luffy's ears with both hands, and said with a smile, what is Luffy's dream? It hurts, be gentle. Luffy muttered, and then became proud again, I want to be the Pirate King in the future. SKI, Pirate King. A pirate like Shanks. Humph. Even stronger than Shanks. Ha ha ha, Luffy is joking again. Yuta laughed and mocked. Hearing this, Luffy got anxious, I'm not kidding. Then you can't become stronger than Shanks. Why? Because I'm here, I'm the musician of the Red Hair Pirates. Humph, just Yuta. What? Luffy, say it again. Yuta instantly turned over, rode on Luffy, grabbed his cheeks with both hands, and gently pulled them up. Luffy was so angry that he screamed, but he couldn't turn over at all because he was ridden by Yuta. Give up, Luffy, you are not my opponent. Ah. I will never give in. Okay, stop it. Humph. Luffy pouted and didn't want to pay attention to her. Hey, Luffy, do you want to hear me sing? He, I do. Accompanied by Yuta's beautiful singing, Luffy gradually fell asleep. At the same time, people around the world who were watching the live broadcast, after hearing Yuta's singing, also fell asleep uncontrollably. Live broadcast room, Jayabeibaxiangtu, wait. What kind of singing is this? I am almost falling asleep while watching the live broadcast. Katakuri, I have to use haki to resist to stay awake. Kaido, you could it be the power of the devil fruit? Big Mom, Mamamo interesting, who knows where this little girl is? Bring her back to Wangwa Island immediately. Straw Hat Luffy, humph. No one is allowed to hurt Yuta. Ben Beckman, is the Big Mom Pirates ready to go to war with my Red Hair Pirates? Lucky Lu, Yuta is the daughter of our Red Hair Pirates, no one can dare to take advantage of her. Sand Crocodile, he interesting, a little girl actually has such a great ability. Quinn, you deserve to die, Straw Hat Boy. Beach. Yuta, let's have a showdown. You really haven't grown up yet. Yuta stood up helplessly in the sea breeze, then put her hands on her hips and laughed, Luffy, you are not my opponent at all. Humph. I won't lose. Okay, then let's play, the two said in unison, eat chicken. There is no doubt that Luffy lost the game, and Yuta cunningly took away the victory with a glass of juice. Yuta, you are cheating again. Cheating, so what? I'm a pirate. Who told you not to take the duel seriously? You're just a little brat. Humph. Who said you were a pirate? Shanks didn't even allow it. Nonsense, I'm Shanks' daughter. Let's take a boat together and have adventures together. Ah. Luffy was about to explode, let's duel. Neither of them was willing to give in, and they used the invincible wind fire will again. Afterwards, this farce was stopped by Shanks, and Yuta also comforted everyone with her singing. Where does the wind come from? I ask, the sky is silent. Where will this song go? I want to find my own answer. Let us sail to the unknown end of the sea. The only. The wind blows, and Yuta's whispers are heard. Hey, Luffy. We will never be separated, right? Ha ha ha. Of course. Kaido, daughter. Yuta is the daughter of red hair. Big Mom, Mamamo, what a shocking news. Quinn, what? My beloved Yuta is the daughter of the damned red hair. Bastu, no, I don't believe it. Gumier, damn red hair, shameful pirate, must have used some despicable means. A certain island in the New World. Daughter? Shanks, you have a daughter? Roger was surprised. Yes, she is my daughter. Shanks chuckled, just like you adopted me and Buggy, I adopted Yuta. Humph. Captain Roger obviously only adopted me back then, damn Shanks, you just adopted him by the way. Buggy rolled his eyes and said disdainfully, Rayleigh was speechless, you too. Can't it be like in a parallel world? It seems that since that day, I have never seen Yuta again. Luffy picked his nose and asked, where is Yuta? Shanks. Shanks did not answer, but looked at the sea in the distance with a deep look. Tell me Shanks. Luffy's eyes became firm, I want to find her. Although his heart is still pure and simple, Luffy, who has experienced so many things, doesn't understand at this moment that Shanks did not tell him the truth about Yuta, but no matter what the reason, he wants to find his partner. You've really grown up, Luffy. Shanks smiled with relief, feeling Luffy's growth in his heart. Oh Luffy, are you going to find someone? Why don't you take me with you? Ha 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 okay, I'll introduce Yuta to you then, everyone. Shanks wanted to take back what he said before, the live broadcast is still going on. A few months later. East China Sea, Windmill Village, Port. Wow. Shanks, you're back. Where did you go on an adventure this time? Huh? What's wrong with you? You don't talk. Forget it, I'll go ask Yuta. Yuta. Suddenly, Luffy panicked. He anxiously looked for the familiar figure in the crowd and called out Yuta's name loudly. Unfortunately, no one responded to him this time. Don't worry about Luffy. Shanks stroked Luffy's head gently. Yuta just became a singer and got off the ship. Singer? How could it be? Yuta clearly said. Luffy murmured in a low voice, as if he had lost something important, and stumbled back home. Hey, Luffy, we will never be separated, right? Ha 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 of course. Yuta's voice kept coming back to his mind. That night, Luffy couldn't sleep. Early morning. Bang bang bang. The hurried knock on the door woke up Shanks who was sleeping soundly. When he opened the door, he saw Luffy with red eyes pressing the door tightly. Tell me where Yuta went.